Chosen ones, many of you feel the urge to guide others on their spiritual journey, to help them awaken to the truths you've discovered. Yet not everyone is ready, and trying to force someone's awakening can cause more harm than good. Every soul has its own divine timing, and it's crucial to honor that. Pushing someone toward awakening is like forcing a flower to bloom before it's ready. In doing so, you risk damaging its delicate petals. Each person's path is unique, and what appears as stagnation might be a necessary stage in their growth. Remember, true spiritual awakening comes from within, sparked by an internal longing for truth. When you try to make someone see what they're not ready to understand, you may encounter resistance, fear, or rejection. This not only slows their journey, but also creates unnecessary tension. Awakening cannot be imposed. It's a deeply personal experience that must unfold naturally. Your role isn't to drag others into the light, but to shine as a guiding star, illuminating the way for those who seek it. Forcing an awakening can create a sense of spiritual arrogance, making others feel judged or inferior. This is contrary to the essence of spiritual growth, which is rooted in love, compassion, and understanding. Instead of pressuring others to change, embody the qualities of an awakened being: kindness, patience, and empathy. In doing so, you become a living example of the transformation they may seek when they're ready. Understand that everyone's journey is sacred, even if it appears different from yours. Trust that the universe has a plan for each soul, and every individual will awaken when the time is right. By respecting their process, you allow them the freedom to grow and evolve in their own way. Remember, chosen ones, your light is most effective when it shines without force. It's through your own example, living authentically and peacefully, that others will be inspired to begin their awakening journey, and when they do, it will be because they felt a genuine calling, not because they were pushed. Every person's spiritual path is a deeply personal experience. What might have taken you years of searching, questioning, and inner work to understand cannot be instantly transferred to another. When you try to force someone to awaken, you are, in essence, telling them that their journey isn't valid, that they need to hurry up or follow your path. This disregards the beauty of their unique process. Consider how you arrived at your awakening. It wasn't an overnight transformation, was it? There were moments of doubt, confusion, and perhaps even despair. But each step, each experience, molded you into the awakened soul you are today. The struggles and triumphs you faced were not obstacles, but rather essential parts of your growth. Similarly, others need the space to navigate their own journey. Just as a caterpillar must struggle to emerge from its cocoon to become a butterfly, so too must each soul face its own trials to reach its full potential. By forcing someone out of their cocoon, you rob them of the strength and understanding they would gain from the process. In this age of instant gratification, it's easy to feel impatient when others don't see things as clearly or as quickly as you do. But spiritual growth cannot be rushed. It requires time, reflection, and the willingness to face one's own shadows. And sometimes, this means allowing others to wander, to make mistakes, and to learn at their own pace. Understand that your role isn't to pull others along, but to walk beside them, offering support and guidance when asked. Respecting their journey means trusting that they, too, have an inner wisdom guiding them. It might not look like yours, and that's okay. The universe has a way of bringing each soul to the lessons they need, exactly when they need them. And as you walk your path, know that you are a beacon of light for those still finding their way. Your presence, your actions, and your energy speak louder than any words you could say. When they are ready, they will come to you, drawn not by force, but by the light that shines from your own journey. One of the most profound lessons we can learn comes from Yeshua, who exemplified patience and understanding when guiding others. He never forced anyone to awaken. Instead, he extended compassion and allowed them to come to their own realizations. By doing so, Yeshua respected each individual's journey and acknowledged that awakening must come from within. Interfering with someone's spiritual path can lead to unintended consequences. When we try to push others into awakening, we often meet resistance, as their spirit isn't prepared to receive the truth. This resistance can create barriers, causing them to close off from the possibility of awakening altogether. It's crucial to remember that spiritual growth is a deeply personal process, one that unfolds in its own time. Yeshua taught through parables, stories, and by setting an example. He didn't impose his wisdom, but instead shared it openly with those who were ready to listen. This gentle approach allowed others to absorb his teachings when they were spiritually prepared, without feeling pressured or judged. He understood that every soul has a unique journey, and that forcing someone to awaken prematurely could hinder their spiritual development. Imagine a seed buried in the soil. It requires time, water, sunlight, and care to grow. If you dig it up repeatedly to check its progress or try to force it to sprout, you'll only damage it. Similarly, when you attempt to awaken someone before they're ready, you disrupt their natural growth, potentially stunting their spiritual evolution. There's a delicate balance between guiding others and allowing them the freedom to explore their path. It's not our job to control the timing of their awakening, but to provide a space where they feel safe to ask questions and explore their spirituality. By embodying Yeshua's patience, we can become a source of light and inspiration, gently guiding others without imposing our will upon them. Consider the moments in your own journey when you experienced resistance or confusion. Were you ready to embrace the truth, or did it take time for you to reach that point of understanding? It's this very process that shapes us, helping us grow and evolve. By allowing others to experience their own path, you give them the gift of self-discovery. Yeshua's wisdom reminds us that true enlightenment cannot be forced. It must be invited, nurtured, and embraced when the soul is ready. Our role is to be the light that draws them closer, not the force that drives them away. And as we walk alongside them, we honor their journey, knowing that every step they take brings them closer to their own awakening. The process of spiritual awakening is much like the growth of a seed. It requires nurturing, patience, and the right environment to flourish. Forcing an awakening is akin to pulling at a plant, hoping it will grow faster. In reality, this only damages the seedling, preventing it from reaching its full potential. Understanding that spiritual growth takes time is a key lesson for chosen ones who wish to guide others on their journey. Each individual has an internal clock that determines when they are ready to embrace their spiritual path. Just as a seed needs time to establish roots before breaking through the soil, so does the soul require time to prepare for awakening. Attempting to rush this process can lead to confusion, frustration, and even a retreat back into ignorance. The soul must be ready to absorb the light of truth, and that readiness cannot be imposed from the outside. When you try to force someone to awaken before they're ready, you risk overwhelming them with information they're not prepared to process. This can cause them to shut down or reject the spiritual journey altogether. The path to enlightenment is not meant to be a sprint, but a gradual unfolding, where each step is taken with intention and understanding. Consider how nature operates in cycles. The seasons change, flowers bloom, and fruit ripens, all in their own time. Spiritual awakening follows a similar natural rhythm. There will be moments of growth, stillness, and even setbacks, but each phase is crucial for the soul's evolution. Trusting this process is a sign of wisdom, recognizing that there's a divine timing for everything. As someone who has experienced awakening, your role is not to drag others along, but to be a steady source of light. When they are ready, they will be drawn to your example, seeking guidance and insight. You cannot make the seed grow faster, but you can provide the warmth and encouragement it needs to flourish. Patience is an act of love, demonstrating that you honor the sacred journey each soul must take. When we allow others the space to awaken at their own pace, we support their growth in a way that is authentic and lasting. The next time you feel the urge to push someone toward enlightenment, remember the seed. Trust that with time, the light, and the right conditions, it will grow into something beautiful. One of the greatest gifts we've been given by the divine is free will. It's this freedom to choose our path that makes the journey of awakening so profound. When we try to force others into a spiritual awakening, we infringe upon this sacred gift, often leading to resistance and pushing them further away from the very truth we hope they will discover. Imagine someone trying to force open a door that's meant to be gently pushed when you're ready. The more force they apply, the more the door resists. This is what happens when we impose our spiritual beliefs or try to accelerate someone's awakening. They instinctively push back, creating a barrier between themselves and the light. Yeshua understood the power of free will. He never compelled anyone to follow him or accept his teachings. Instead, he spoke his truth, performed miracles, and allowed others to make their own choices. He knew that a path chosen freely is far more powerful and enduring than one imposed by another. This approach allowed people to come to him when they felt ready, and in doing so, they were more open to receiving his wisdom. When you force someone into a state of awakening, you strip away their sense of autonomy, making them feel as though they have no control over their spiritual journey. This often leads to resentment, confusion, or even fear, causing them to shut down and reject the path altogether. Awakening should be a liberating experience, one where the soul feels called, not coerced. Our role as chosen ones is to create an environment where others feel safe to explore their spirituality without pressure or judgment. This means respecting their choices, even if they seem to be moving in a different direction or at a slower pace than we would like. It's in this space of unconditional acceptance that true awakening can occur. Consider a time when you were introduced to something new. If you felt pressured or forced, it likely left you feeling resistant or uninterested. But when you were given the freedom to explore at your own pace, you were more open, curious, and willing to embrace the experience. This is the natural flow of learning and growth, and it applies to spiritual awakening as well. By honoring others' free will, you offer them the greatest gift of all, the opportunity to choose their path. This choice, made freely, becomes the foundation for a deep and authentic spiritual journey that no one can take away. Every soul has its own journey, guided by a sacred timing that only the divine truly understands. Just as the sun rises and sets with perfect precision, so too does each person's awakening unfold in alignment with a higher plan. Forcing someone to awaken before their time disrupts this divine flow and can even prevent them from experiencing the growth they were meant to have. It's easy to feel impatient when we see others struggling in darkness, especially when we know the light that awaits them. However, it's crucial to trust that the divine has a plan for every soul. Their journey may seem slow or stagnant from our perspective, but we must remember that every experience, every challenge, and every delay serves a greater purpose in their evolution. Yeshua understood this concept of divine timing deeply. He didn't rush his disciples into understanding his teachings or force the crowds to believe in him. Instead, he planted seeds of wisdom, knowing that they would take root and bloom when the time was right. Even when those around him doubted or questioned, he remained patient, trusting in the greater plan that was unfolding. When we force others to awaken, we risk interfering with the lessons they are meant to learn. Just as a butterfly must struggle to emerge from its cocoon to strengthen its wings, so too must each individual face their own challenges to gain the strength needed for their journey. If we cut that process short, we rob them of the experiences that shape their soul. It's natural to want to help those we care about, but sometimes the most loving thing we can do is step back and allow them to walk their path. Trust that the divine is guiding them, even when it seems like they're lost. By honoring their timing, you affirm your faith in the universe's wisdom. Think of how many times you were guided to a truth only when you were ready to receive it. Reflect on the moments when you tried to force something to happen, only to realize later that it wasn't the right time. There's beauty in letting go and allowing life to unfold as it's meant to. The journey toward awakening is a delicate dance, choreographed by the divine, and sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply trust the rhythm. Yeshua, the embodiment of love and compassion, demonstrated the power of gentle guidance in leading others toward awakening. He never used force or coercion. Instead, he offered his teachings as a light for those who were ready to follow. His approach serves as a reminder that true spiritual awakening cannot be imposed, but must be inspired. When we examine Yeshua's journey, we see a leader who invited others to explore the truth rather than compelling them to accept it. He spoke in parables, using stories that resonated with those who were open to receiving his wisdom. This method allowed each person to find their own meaning and take what they needed from his words. It was an invitation, not a command, allowing individuals to awaken at their own pace. By leading with love and patience, Yeshua created an environment where people felt safe to explore their spirituality. He didn't shame them for their lack of understanding or push them to see things his way. Instead, he walked alongside them, offering guidance and support when they were ready to receive it. This gentle approach made his teachings more accessible and allowed them to take root deeply in the hearts of those who listened. Forcing someone to awaken often creates resistance and resentment. It sends the message that they're not good enough as they are, which can be damaging to their sense of self-worth. Yeshua's example teaches us that awakening is not about making others conform to our beliefs, but about holding space for them to discover their own truths. When we approach others with compassion, we give them the freedom to grow without fear or judgment. Consider how Yeshua interacted with those who doubted or questioned him. He didn't respond with anger or frustration, but with kindness and understanding. He allowed them to ask questions, to struggle, and to find their way, knowing that true transformation comes from within. His teachings were like seeds scattered on fertile ground, taking root when the conditions were right. By embodying Yeshua's example, we can become living testimonies of the awakening we hope to inspire in others. Our actions, more than our words, will be the guiding light that draws them toward their own spiritual journey. Instead of pushing them toward enlightenment, we create a path that makes them want to follow. And as they walk that path, they'll find their way, not because we forced them, but because we showed them that it was possible. Awakening is not just an event. It's a process that depends entirely on inner readiness. No matter how much you might want someone to see the truth, unless their spirit is prepared, the message won't take root. Like a field that needs to be tilled and nurtured before seeds can grow, the soul must be ready to receive the light of awakening. Forcing someone into spiritual awareness without that inner readiness often leads to confusion and rejection. If they haven't done the inner work or experienced the life lessons that prepare them for such truths, the attempt to push them forward may create more distance between them and their path. Just as you cannot force a flower to bloom out of season, you cannot rush someone's spiritual evolution. There is a wisdom in timing that we cannot always understand. The universe has a way of unfolding things perfectly, even if it doesn't align with our expectations. When someone is truly ready to awaken, they will be drawn to the lessons and teachers that will help them evolve. But that readiness must come from within. Each soul has its own journey, and part of spiritual growth is learning to trust that process. Just because you've reached a place of awareness doesn't mean others are on the same timeline. Their experiences, challenges, and perspectives shape their journey differently, and it's important to respect that diversity. Often, the soul must go through a period of searching, darkness, or struggle before it is ready to embrace awakening. These moments of hardship are not mistakes. They are part of the necessary preparation. Pushing someone too soon robs them of the opportunity to go through those formative experiences that deepen their understanding and resolve. Think about your own journey. Were you always ready for the truths you now hold? Likely there were times when certain lessons didn't resonate or seemed impossible to grasp. But with time and experience, those lessons became clear, and you were able to integrate them into your spiritual understanding. The same is true for others. When you allow someone the space to grow at their own pace, you give them the freedom to discover their path authentically. By respecting their journey, you honor their soul's need to evolve in its own time. Forcing them to awaken prematurely could lead to a shallow or incomplete understanding of the spiritual truths that are meant to transform them. Awakening isn't just about seeing the light, it's about being ready to walk in it. Forcing someone to awaken can often lead to feelings of fear and discomfort rather than enlightenment. The process of awakening is an intensely personal journey that requires a safe space to explore and question. When someone feels pressured or coerced into awakening, they may feel overwhelmed, threatened, or even fearful of the truths they're being presented with. This fear can become a barrier that prevents them from fully embracing their spiritual path. Yeshua never approached people with force or intimidation. He created an atmosphere of love, understanding, and safety, where people felt free to explore his teachings. His message was not one of fear, but of hope and compassion, allowing others to approach their own awakening without feeling pressured. In this space of safety, they were able to absorb his teachings at their own pace, in a way that felt authentic to them. Fear is one of the greatest obstacles to spiritual growth. When someone feels afraid, their natural response is to protect themselves, to shut down, and to resist. This reaction is the exact opposite of what is needed for genuine awakening, which requires openness, vulnerability, and a willingness to let go of old beliefs. By attempting to force someone into this process, you inadvertently create the very resistance that blocks their path. Consider the way a child learns to walk. They take small, uncertain steps, often stumbling and falling. But they are surrounded by love, encouragement, and the freedom to make mistakes. If you were to force a child to walk before they were ready, not only would they fall more often, but they would also become fearful of the process itself. In the same way, spiritual awakening requires a gentle, nurturing environment where individuals feel safe to explore and grow. Your role as a chosen one is to be that safe space. You can create an environment where others feel supported, encouraged, and loved without feeling pressured to reach a certain level of understanding. This allows them to let go of their fears and approach awakening from a place of curiosity rather than anxiety. When you provide this atmosphere, you give others the freedom to awaken in their own time, in a way that feels right for them. They begin to see that the journey is not something to be feared, but a path of discovery and enlightenment that they can embrace at their own pace. Awakening cannot flourish in fear, it thrives in love and safety. Awakening is a choice that each soul must make for themselves. It's an act of free will, a deliberate decision to seek truth and embrace one's spiritual journey. When we attempt to force others to awaken, we rob them of the most crucial aspect of this experience, their power to choose. By respecting their free will, we honor the sacredness of their path and allow them to come to enlightenment in their own time. Imagine someone who feels pressured into making a decision. Even if that choice is the right one, the fact that it wasn't made freely diminishes its significance. Similarly, spiritual awakening loses its depth and authenticity when it is imposed rather than chosen. Every individual must arrive at their moment of clarity through their own experiences, questions, and inner realizations. Yeshua, in his wisdom, never demanded that anyone follow him. He extended an open invitation, allowing people to choose their path without coercion. He respected the free will of every individual, understanding that true transformation comes from a place of willing acceptance, not compulsion. This is why his message resonated so deeply. It was offered as a gift, not a command. When we respect others' autonomy, we show that we trust their ability to find their way. It's an expression of love to let someone walk their own path, even if it means watching them struggle or make mistakes. These experiences are often the very catalysts that lead to profound awakening. By allowing them the freedom to choose, we give them the opportunity to grow in ways that are meaningful and enduring. It's easy to feel frustrated when others don't see what you see, especially when you've experienced the beauty and freedom that comes with awakening. However, it's essential to remember that your journey is not theirs. Their timing, lessons, and experiences are uniquely designed for their soul's growth. By imposing your expectations, you not only disrupt their process, but also risk damaging your relationship with them. Instead of trying to force their awakening, be a guide who offers support, encouragement, and understanding. When they feel ready, they will naturally gravitate toward the light you carry. In honoring their free will, you create a space where they feel empowered to make their own choices, a space where awakening becomes an invitation, not an obligation. Remember, the most powerful awakenings are those that come from within, sparked by a desire to seek and understand. One of the most challenging aspects of being a chosen one is learning to trust that the divine is guiding others just as it guided you. It's easy to feel the urge to step in, to show them the light, to pull them along on the path that you know leads to awakening. However, true spiritual growth happens when individuals find their way in their own time, through their own experiences, and by following the subtle guidance of the divine. Every soul has an internal compass, an innate connection to the divine that leads them toward their truth. Sometimes this guidance isn't immediately apparent, and it can feel as if they're wandering in darkness. But even in those moments, they are being led, learning, growing, and evolving in ways that we might not understand. The journey toward awakening isn't always a straight line. It's often filled with twists, turns, and moments of uncertainty. Yeshua demonstrated an unwavering trust in the divine plan. He understood that every person's journey was unfolding exactly as it was meant to, even if it didn't align with his own expectations. Instead of trying to control or force outcomes, he allowed others to discover their truth, knowing that the light within them would eventually guide them home. When you feel the urge to force someone to awaken, take a step back and remember that the divine is working in their life, just as it worked in yours. Trust that their path, no matter how different it may seem, is leading them to the lessons and insights they need. Sometimes what looks like a detour or setback is actually a pivotal moment of growth that will bring them closer to their awakening. Your role is not to dictate their journey, but to be a beacon of light that they can turn to when they're ready. By trusting in the divine guidance that flows through all things, you allow others the freedom to discover their light in a way that is authentic and meaningful. This trust creates a space where they can explore, question, and grow without fear of judgment or pressure. And as you release the need to control their awakening, you'll find that your own journey becomes more peaceful, more aligned with the flow of the universe. It's in this space of trust and surrender that the most profound awakenings occur, both for yourself and for those around you. The journey is theirs, but the light will always guide them home. Chosen ones, if you enjoy our videos and would like to support our channel, feel free to buy us a coffee. The link will be in the description below. Thanks for watching and have a blessed day.